The General Hospital scoop for Monday, September 8th, hints Jason Morgan will tell Britt Westbourne he's not going to hurt her. Also coming up, Molly Davis will learn of Scout Quartermain's whereabouts. Plus, Anna Devane will have two main suspects in mind, and Jack Brennan will leave an urgent message. GH spoilers tease Alexis Davis, and Willow Tate will be frantic about Scout. They'll wonder where she's disappeared to and if the young girl could be in any danger. But they'll get good news soon from Molly. Speaking of Molly, she was annoyed by the messages she was receiving from Cody Bell on Friday. However, she'll finally call him. 911, what's going on? An irritated Molly asks him in the GH sneak peek. Of course, she'll be relieved when he informs her that he's at the Quartermain stables with none other than Scout. No doubt, Molly will get on the horn and let Alexis know she's okay. Meanwhile, Willow and Michael Corinthos will become the main suspects in Drew Cain's shooting, and Anna will share her suspicions with Dante Falconeri and Harrison Chase. So Chase will ask if there's any reason the two could be connected. Over with Brennan, who will make a call to someone after confronting Colette Moreau. Our agents are blown, he'll say. They could be dead already. Finally, Jason will find a frantic Britt in the lab, and he'll promise he won't hurt her. I'm going to get you out of here. Jason will hope he can accomplish this quickly. However, there'll be a problem he may not see coming. Rumor has it, Britt will tell Jason about Jocelyn Jack's and Vaughn's predicament. Obviously, he's not going to leave Carly Spencer's daughter to face a grim fate. But will Jason figure out a way to rescue all three of them? Keep watching GH to find out. At any rate, it looks like a great episode is coming up. Keep reading the Soap Scoop for more General Hospital spoilers and news. And make sure you join our free GH Facebook group. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video General Hospital spoilers for the next 2 weeks. September 8th to September 19th, reveal that Britt Westbourne will make it back to Port Charles, so Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri will flip out. Jocelyn Jacks and S. Vaughn will also end up with a new secret, so here's what GH viewers can look forward to. During the week of September 8 to 12, Cody Bell will improve his image with Molly Lansing Davis, since it seems he'll keep Scout Quartermain safe at the Quartermain stables. Once Scout is no longer missing, she can go home with her new custodial guardian. That's Willow Tate, at least while Drew Cain is out of commission, so she'll take Scout back to Elizabeth Baldwin's place. Things will get pretty chaotic at the Five Poppies Resort, but Britt, Jason Morgan, Jocelyn, and Vaughn will all make it home alive. Of course, Britt's return to Port Charles is going to cause quite a stir. Lulu and Dante will reel over the news that Britt is back, so they'll have to fill Rocco Falconeri in soon. Liesl Obrecht will come face-to-face with Britt eventually, so that should bring an emotional reunion that's filled with questions. As for Michael Corinthos, he'll seek some assistance from Curtis in tracking down Jacinda the escort. Jacinda is Michael's best chance and alibi, so he'll do whatever it takes to find her. Nina Reeves will also have a tempting proposal to mull over, so we'll see if that involves dealing with Jacinda or another crisis. When it comes to the investigation into Drew's shooting, Harrison Chase will use his insight to make a judgment regarding Willow. Can Chase really put his affection for Willow aside and do his job here? Dante Falconeri will also have to investigate Michael, which will bring some challenge son his end as well. The week of September 15th and 19th will put Jocelyn and Vaughn in some tricky territory. Vaughn and Jocelyn's nightmare mission will be over, but they won't be able to shake the feelings they've developed for each other. Jack Brennan wouldn't approve, so it seems Jocelyn will sneak around with Vaughn and enjoy their romance behind Brennan's back. As for Britt, she'll deal with all the backlash of her return. Britt will also reconnect with Rocco Falconeri sooner or later, so he'll be excited to get to know the woman who gave birth to him, even if she's not his real mom. Nathan West's comeback is rapidly approaching too, so GH writers will keep putting the pieces in place for that shocker. Back with Jason, he'll have to decide how long he's willing to hide Jocelyn's WSB status from Carly Spencer, especially considering she's falling deeper in love with Brennan every day. General Hospital spoilers say Drew may also find himself vulnerable to another sneak attack, so stay tuned for updates on whether his GH stint will get dangerous. General Hospital spoilers hint that Drew Kane could wake up a changed man. But will it be real or an act? Another personality shift could be on the way, but things may not be quite as they seem. The show has taken Drew to some pretty sinister places in recent months, so all of Port Charles practically had a motive to want him gone for good. Drew made a ton of enemies as the show built to a twist that nearly cost the character his life. It all culminated in 2 bullets and an epic scene that left fans asking, "Who shot Drew?" Plenty of viewers were rooting for the Grim Reaper in this situation, but Drew survived his gunshot wounds and was ultimately stabilized for surgery at GH. Although Drew isn't out of the woods yet, it looks like he'll indeed come out of this mess alive. That brings the question of where the writers will go with this storyline next. Once Drew wakes up at the hospital, what will he have to say about this whole ordeal? We can't help but be reminded of a recent storyline on Days of Our Lives, so let's talk about that for a moment. Like Drew, EJ DiMera spent months reeling people up and making enemies who were angry enough to pull the trigger. EJ got a similar to whodunit on Duel, but he claimed to be a changed man once he woke up in the hospital. However, it was really more of a manipulative act since EJ's never truly going to be one of the good guys. Perhaps Drew could have a similar phony epiphany when he awakens at GH. We could imagine Drew acting like he's seen the error of his ways, and maybe even going on a fake apology tour. Drew might use a faux attitude adjustment as part of a plan to pull Willow Tate closer and restart their romance. It's tough to believe Drew will actually become a better person, but he could pretend he's on a better path and try to lull his enemies into a false sense of security. That could help Drew figure out who fired at him that night and get the payback he'll no doubt be craving. Cameron Matheson offered some revenge plot clues in a recent SOD interview, so Drew could claim he's changed as part of a scheme. General Hospital spoilers suggest Drew might fake some positive updates to his mentality, so stay tuned for more news on what's in store for him. General Hospital spoilers update for the week of September 8-12 reveals that Willow Tate will manipulate Harrison Chase, while Sonny Corinthos carries out a sneaky plan. It also looks like Jason Morgan will bring Britt Westbourne home, so let's discuss all the action ahead. First, Michael Corinthos will turn to Curtis Ashford with a favor to ask. This could involve Michael's search for Jacinda, since he desperately needs her for an alibi. Jacinda needs money, so Michael could pay her to claim they spent the night together far away from Drew Kane's house. In reality, Michael's car was at Drew's house around the time of the shooting, so Tracy Quartermain was right to warn him to protect himself. Jacinda will pressure Portia Robinson and Nina Reeves for more money in the meantime, so how will they handle her? Portia is set to flip a situation around on someone, so she might make sure Jacinda's on the receiving end of some threats instead. As for Nina, GH spoilers say she'll consider an enticing proposal. It's possible Jacinda will offer to make trouble for Michael instead of giving him the alibi he wants, but only if Nina pays up. Next, Alexis Davis will put her foot in her mouth. There'll be some incident where Alexis says more than she means to, so she might stir up some suspicions about Rick Lansing's disappearance. Rick will remain captive for now, but Alexis, Ava Jerome, and Christina Corinthos Davis will have more problems to contend with thanks to their pact. As the Drew investigation heats up, Willow will manipulate Chase, and perhaps prove his conflicts of interest are going to be a problem after all. Once Jason, Britt, Jocelyn Jax, and S. Vaughn emerge victorious at the Five Poppies Resort, it'll be time to head home. It looks like Jason will convince Britt to come with him, so her return will send shockwaves through the whole town. Dante Falconeri will be stunned over Britt's miraculous comeback. The same goes for Lulu Spencer, who'll no doubt worry about how Britt showing up again will affect Rocco Falconeri. Lulu and Dante will team up to deliver some important news, so they may come together to give Rocco updates on the situation, though they'll obviously be short on details. As for Anna Devane, she'll rush to her own defense in a heated confrontation. Jason may realize Anna knew Jocelyn was in the WSB and on this dangerous assignment, so he may scold her for not telling him the whole truth. While Jason decides whether he'll blab to Carly, Jack Brennan will push for more information. Jocelyn and Vaughn will have some explaining to do when it comes to the disastrous mission and how it went so horribly wrong. Elsewhere, Sonny will have a sneaky plan, so we'll see if that involves a way to dig for Jen Sidwell intel. General Hospital spoilers say the week of September 8-12 will bring some bold moves and risky decisions, so stay tuned. General Hospital spoilers reveal that there could be a second attempt on Drew Kane's life coming up. Will the culprit try to finish the job? The show hasn't revealed who's responsible for Drew's shooting at this point, but it's obvious that the person who pulled the trigger wanted him dead. Drew survived, but he's perhaps in more danger than ever. Once the news spreads about Drew pulling through his horrible ordeal, the attempted murderer may strike again. There's the potential for the shooter to go after Drew once more and become determined to take him out for real this time. Drew could even be at risk right there at GH. It's easy to imagine someone sneaking in Drew's room to finish him off, much like when that fake nurse assassin tried to wipe out Sonny Corinthos in Los Angeles. Drew may become the latest character to face multiple attempts to eliminate him. That's especially true if Drew's attempted murderer works for Jen Sidwell or another baddie who demands that they fix the job they botched. Whatever the case, there are good reasons to believe Drew could still be in grave danger, so stick with us for updates on any other disturbing moves that might be made. In the meantime, Anna Devane will mull over this Drew mystery and try to nail down some answers. We'll see Anna take charge in a big way and put her best detectives to work on figuring out what really happened. Dante Falconeri and Harrison Chase will put any potential conflicts of interest aside as they agree to follow this investigation whenever it might lead. Drew's whodunit will bring more surprises, so it'll be interesting to see what clues surface and which suspects are scrutinized in the coming weeks. Do you think the person who tried to kill Drew will strike again? Could there be another attempt on Drew's life? Perhaps one that provides more clues to the PCPD? General Hospital spoilers say Anna will do everything in her power to solve this mystery, so stay tuned. General Hospital spoilers reveal that Britt Westbourne is about to come home. It seems clear that Jason Morgan and Britt love each other. However, there could be a few complications that make their slow-burning romance even more rootable. Keep reading, and let's get started talking about the sizzling possibilities. Let's start off with Jason finding Britt in Croatia. The right-hand man is known for being pretty steady. However, Britt is really emotional and having a hard time coping from what we can see. Britt knows her identity and remembers Jason, but the feelings are complicated. The former doctor has a lot of anger towards him and even chided herself for waiting for him to call her. Then, in the next moment, she's telling him to get lost. It's safe to say that Britt clearly still has feelings for Jason. Over with Jason, it's obvious he loves Britt too. For one thing, he couldn't get her out of his head after seeing the woman at the airport. The man followed his instincts and was stunned to face Britt at the Five Poppies resort. However, when she told him to get lost, he did, but not without handing her a burner phone, just in case. It's a good thing he did, and was waiting for her to call before getting on the plane back home. Jason kept staring at that phone, as if his gut was telling him Britt needed him. Sure enough, Britt called after discovering Vaughn and Jocelyn Jacks tied up. The call was distorted, but Jason knew it was her and that she needed him. General Hospital spoilers reveal that Jason will bring Jocelyn, Vaughn, and Britt back home to Port Charles. Everyone will be stunned to find out that Britt is alive. There could be some who embrace her, such as Liesl Obrecht. Then, there are others who will bash her, such as Lulu Spencer. Everyone will have questions, but will she be willing to answer them? Whatever she was doing allowed her to get life-saving medication. Britt did work in the lab according to Pascal, so she might have a way of duplicating the formula. Once Britt returns to town and gets back to normalcy, she will form a new dynamic with Jason. It's likely going to be a slow-burning romance, as those are the best ones in soaps. Britt seems to have a lot of trauma. The old Britt would have taken action to save Jocelyn and Vaughn, not run away. There is a point in the preview clip for Monday, September 8th, 2025, where Jason assures Britt he's not going to harm her. Why would she be scared of him? True, there is a complicated emotional history there, but she almost seems a bit scared physically. So, could she have gone through some deep trauma while at the Five Poppies? That could take time for Britt to recover from. However, good thing Jason is a very patient man. Besides, when Jason and Britt were unexpectedly on the run together back in the day, They really formed a close connection. Let's hope that it can happen again. With drama in the OR and tension in the break room, the show is delivering the kind of stories that defined its golden age. When General Hospital debuted in 1963, it was part of a sea of soap operas that were on the air at the time. Its direct competition was another medical soap that also premiered on April 1st of that year, The Doctors. However, while ratings for The Doctors fizzled out by the late 1970s, causing its cancellation in 1982, GH soared into the stratosphere when executive producer Gloria Monty introduced action and adventure. But at its core, the show was about the medical staff, which was also very prominent in the 1980s, and now it's starting to reclaim the mojo that made it great. Action? Check! Spies Joss and Vaughn are facing a life-or-death situation currently. Adventure? Check! Jason traveled the world to find a presumed dead Britt, and will most likely rescue the aforementioned spies when he springs into action on September 8th. Doctors who aren't just healers but stars? Meh. In the past few years, the show has had less to do with the lives of the doctors and more to do with corrupt politicians and mobsters. And while those storylines are compelling by themselves, they need to work in tandem with the core hospital aspect of the show. Throughout the late 70s and 80s, the stories were intense and electric, with surprisingly sexy tales of high-stakes medical drama, personal rivalries, and sweeping romance. Lately, the show has slowly been bringing back that incredible atmosphere and camaraderie of the medical staff. Back in the day, we had the stoic chief of staff, Dr. Steve Hardy, Dr. Noah Drake, who brought rock star swagger to Port Charles, and Dr. Monica Quartermain, who was as ambitious as she was passionate. They've been gone for quite some time, but we're seeing the new generation rise to the occasion to bring back that intense hospital drama. Dr. Lucas Jones is getting in everyone's business with wisdom and compassion. Head nurse Elizabeth Weber has been working closely with him and trying to live up to the standards set by her predecessors. Dr. Portia Robinson is the co-chief of staff and is dealing with insurmountable odds. Together, these characters, along with newcomers like Dr. Isaiah Gannon, have become the core group that's propelling the show into the future. The electricity between the medical characters has been slowly building, and it's bringing back that feeling we got when we watched the show back in the day. With cliffhanger drama and interpersonal crises, this generation has finally arrived, and we're happy to see GH firing on all cylinders once more. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Alexis Davis has reason to panic. Alexis was one of many in PC who publicly threatened Drew Kane right before he was ambushed and shot twice in the back. She was livid about not being able to see her granddaughter Scout Quartermain, and now a possible search warrant will force her to let the PCPD explore her residence. She has Rick Lansing tied up in the basement, and it's way too early for Halloween. Alexis probably didn't shoot Drew, but she has motive and thus is on the suspect list. In the September 4th episode, Detective Dante Falconeri was stymied when he tried to question her, but we know he'll be back to follow up. Alexis thinks that Ava Jerome and Christina Corinthos Davis are her alibi, but that's like building a sandcastle at low tide. While Alexis likely didn't fire at Drew, she is holding Rick hostage, and the PCPD would frown upon that in this day and age. If a search warrant uncovers Rick, we predict a torrent of consequences, since all parties are caught up in a massive blackmail scheme and more. For example, Christina tried to kill Ava and Rick, which led to Alexis embezzling funds to pay them off in order to keep quiet. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Alexis is smart cookie, who has ridden this rodeo before. If she tries to move Rick, that could mean drugging him, adding to her list of crimes. If she enlists Ava and Christina's help, the plot gets more messy and prone to disaster, but leaving Rick in the basement would be so much worse. Even if the girls manage to move Rick, there is still possible evidence to consider, like his car, which is hidden in the shed. We wish we could say this is a unique situation that Alexis finds herself in, but that would be a lie. Alexis is a trouble magnet. Tell us, GH fans, what do you make of Alexis and Christina teaming up with Ava to teach Rick a lesson? Be sure to catch up on everything happening with General Hospital right now. General Hospital spoilers are in for the week of September 8th, 2025. Fans can expect Jack Brennan to demand answers. Alexis Davis says too much. Over in Croatia, Jason Morgan shows up to save the day. There will also be a shell-shocking return to Port Charles. Let's get started talking about what's coming up in the ABC soap opera. Let's start off with Jason, who returns to the Five Poppies Resort to face chaos. The right-hand man already took one man out. Now he will try to reassure Britt Westbourne, who is alarmed. In a preview clip for Monday's episode, Jason tells Britt that he's not there to hurt her. Then, Jason has to leap to the rescue. It sounds like Britt tells him about Vaughn and Jocelyn Jacks. If so, Joss might plead with Jason to keep her new career a secret from Carly Spencer. Remember, Jason and Carly had a pact to never keep secrets about their kids from each other again. Later in the week, Jack Brennan gets a proposition. By Friday, the WSB boss demands answers. Over with Alexis, fans can expect her to say too much. Alexis, along with Christina Corinthos Davis and Ava Jerome, are holding Rick Lansing hostage. Meanwhile, there is also the issue of Scout Quartermain. I can just see Carly's brain exploding after finding out Willow Tate is now Scout's guardian. General Hospital spoilers for the week of September 8th reveal that Anna Devane has her top suspects in Drew Kane's shooting. As she tries to connect the dots, Anna and Dante Falconeri question someone. A bit later, Willow meets up with Harrison Chase. Lucas Jones interrogates Carly. However, the blonde isn't the one who shot Drew. Michael Corinthos connects with Curtis Ashford. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Liz Baldwin warns Lucas. Portia Robinson makes a move and turns the tables. Meanwhile, Trina Robinson opens up to Emma Scorpio Drake. Plus, there will be a return that stuns Port Charles. As for Cody Bell, he finally gets a win with Molly Lansing Davis. Also, Dante and Lulu Spencer drop a massive bombshell. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of September 8th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep watching the soap on ABC to find out what happens next. Life is forever changed in Port Charles this fall. The temperature may be dropping outside, but General Hospital is heating up this fall. A new preview from GH co-head writers teases that fans are in for one wild ride filled with twists and turns that will leave fans talking for months. It's time for Port Charles to say goodbye to Monica. Speaking with TV Insider, GH head writers Elizabeth Korda and Chris Van Etten revealed that Jason and Tracy are the most impacted by Monica's death. Port Charles will come together to honor Monica and celebrate her legacy. However, as GH fans know, when the Quartermain family gathers, things never go smoothly, which will be the case with Monica's funeral. One Life to Live alum Erica Slezak debuts in her mystery role. The character shakes things up with her surprising connection to the Quartermains and other Port Charles residents. We know that Drew survives the shooting, but in what condition he wakes up remains to be seen. Meanwhile, the shooting has a ripple effect for everyone on the suspect list. Trina and Kai struggle to keep their secret, while Portia finds comfort with Isaiah, and Curtis grows closer to Jordan. Before the fall is over, the foursome faces a challenge that throws all their dynamics into chaos. Speaking of chaos, Alexis has her hands full as a suspect in the shooting, hiding Rick, and fighting for Scout. The walls close in on Alexis, as does her alliance with Ava. Michael goes to great lengths to hide the fact that he was at Drew's house the night of the shooting. Sonny gets lured into helping his son, but the mob boss has plenty more to deal with. Sidwell is not Sonny's normal enemy, and this just might be one war Sonny doesn't win. After all, Sidwell ensured Michael got custody of his kids by making it look like either Michael or Sonny paid off the judge. The fall season brings back some familiar faces as Nathan, Valentin, and Charlotte return. They join a not-so-dead Britt, whose official return to Port Charles begins on September 8th as new mysteries and drama unfold. All of those returns have a grave impact on Anna, who becomes obsessed with finding out how Britt and Nathan survived. Anna can't shake the feeling that Faison is behind it all. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Dr. Lucas Jones and Dr. Portia Robinson saved Drew Kane's life after he took 2 bullets to the back. It was touch and go for a while, and they almost lost Drew, but they were able to revive him. While we are still unaware of what damage this could have caused for Drew, we can guess that Drew probably will not come out of this unscathed. Perhaps Drew will become paralyzed as a result. After some time, Drew could finally regain consciousness after surviving the surgery to remove the bullets. He would believe that he is fine at first, but soon enough, he would realize that he cannot move his legs. He would tell this to a nurse, who would go and get a doctor, but Portia would be right there to come to Drew's aid. Portia would tell Drew that they will run some tests. Drew, of course, would blame this on Portia and tell her that he will sue her and the hospital for making him a paraplegic. Portia would tell him not to be hasty until they get the test results back. After the appropriate tests are run, Portia could tell Drew that the tests confirm that Drew is paralyzed from the waist down permanently. There is nothing that can be done to fix it. Drew would lose it and tell Portia that he is suing the hospital and her for negligence. Portia would tell him that this is what he deserves after going after so many people and attempting to destroy their lives. Drew would look at her and realize the shocking truth. Drew would look at Portia, and he would know that she had something to do with him becoming paralyzed. Portia would be shocked at the implication and tell Drew that he is lucky that she saved his life because he didn't deserve that for her. She would tell him that he should be grateful to her for saving him because if she hadn't, he would be dead. Drew would know that Portia did something to ensure that he became paralyzed. Portia would laugh at the thought and tell him that even if she did, he could never prove it. Portia would leave Drew's hospital room, and we would be left wondering if Portia really did something in the operating room that could have caused Drew to become permanently paralyzed. What do you think? Do you think that Drew will become paralyzed as a result of his surgery? Did Portia do something to ensure that Drew became paralyzed? Will Drew be able to prove that Portia caused his paralysis? Don't miss a second of these storylines this week. It's a week of suspects and shocking returns. Don't miss these 3 major moments this week on General Hospital. Midweek, a return is teased to rock Port Charles, and all signs lead to it being Britt. Jason is about to save her from her mystery boss when he springs into action on Monday. Britt's time may be running out on Tuesday, but by the two get home, Britt is leave a shocked Dante and Lulu to break the news of her return to Rocco. Of course, Britt isn't the only return that's about to shake things up. The GH Fall preview teased the returns of Nathan, Valentine, and Charlotte. This week, we'll see the PCPD start to zero in on suspects in Drew's shocking shooting. Anna, Chase, and Dante have already questioned several people, like Alexis, Nina, and even Willow. But Monday teases Anna determining the prime suspects, which leads her and Dante to question someone midweek. The week will end with Sonny revealing his plan. It's unknown whether this is his plan to take down Sidwell, his plan to sway ADA Turner, his plan to keep Michael from being a suspect in Drew's shooting, or something else entirely. He did just meet with Diane about the judge being found dead, and has guessed that Sidwell was behind it. So our money's on his plan being about Sidwell's demise. The sterile walls of General Hospital have witnessed endless moments of heartbreak and healing, but few as emotionally charged as the night Drew Kane opened his eyes after his near-fatal shooting. The congressman's road back from the brink of death is anything but ordinary, and by his side through every uncertain heartbeat has been Willow Tate, unwilling to leave him for even a second. For days, Willow's hand never left Drew's, her tear-streaked face lit only by the beeping monitors and the soft glow of the bedside lamp. Staff whispered their concerns. Port Charles residents cast judgmental glances, but Willow didn't care. She'd already fought and won the custody battle for Scout. That wasn't her priority now. Drew needed her, and she refused to abandon him. Speculation swirled outside those hospital doors about who could have pulled the trigger on the embattled politician. Drew's growing list of enemies made him an easy target. But inside that room, none of it mattered. All Willow could see was the man she loved fighting for his life. When Drew finally stirred, his gaze found Willow first. The relief that washed over her was immediate and overwhelming. "Drew," she whispered, voice breaking. "Thank God you're awake." Too weak to speak more than a rasp, Drew clutched her hand with a surprising strength, the touch sparking between them like a promise. In that instant, politics, grudges, and ambition faded into nothing. What remained was raw love and the realization of how close they had come to losing it all. As the hours passed and Drew regained strength, so did his resolve. One quiet evening, with Port Charles bathed in sunset, he finally confessed the truth burning inside him. "When I was bleeding out, do you know what I thought about?" His voice trembled with honesty. Willow shook her head, tears forming again. "You," Drew said softly. "Not my career, not my schemes, just you. I love you, Willow, more than I've ever loved anything." The words hung heavy between them, rewriting the story of their fractured past, the affair that started it all, the fallout with Michael, the endless chaos surrounding their lives. For the first time, Drew's armor cracked completely. Willow cupped his face, overwhelmed by the sincerity in his eyes. At that moment, it didn't matter how many mistakes had been made. What mattered was here and now. Drew Kane, alive, vulnerable, and declaring a love that could change everything. The shadows of Port Charles have grown longer, and Michael Corinthos finds himself trapped within them. What began as being in the wrong place at the wrong time has spiraled into a conspiracy that strikes at the very heart of his family. On the night Drew Kane was shot, Michael was the sole witness, seeing a shadowed figure flee the scene. Paralyzed by fear and a misguided instinct to protect his family from the ensuing chaos, he chose silence, a decision that would soon prove to be his prison. That silence became untenable when Tracy Quartermain's sharp eyes spotted him near the crime scene, her suspicion immediately placing a target on his back. Desperate for an alibi, Michael sought out a woman he'd met briefly, Justinda. She seemed like the perfect solution, a convenient witness who could place him far from the gunfire. However, his relief was short-lived. As he drew closer to her, inconsistencies in her story began to surface. Nervous glances, cryptic messages, and a timeline that didn't add up. Michael quickly realized Justinda was no random bystander. She was deeply entangled in the plot against Drew. His investigation into Justinda uncovered a horrifying truth. She was a collaborator, a conduit of information feeding Drew's movements to the gunman. But she wasn't the mastermind. Following a trail of encrypted messages and shell corporations from a burner phone, Michael unearthed the true architect of the attack. The revelation was unthinkable, the ultimate betrayal. Nina Reeves. Nina hadn't just funded the operation, she had orchestrated every detail. She weaponized Michael's loyalty, planting Justinda in his path to act as a potential alibi, thereby ensuring his silence. The hit on Drew was a calculated move in a larger, ruthless game to destabilize the Corinthos and Quartermain families, allowing her to seize the power and influence she craved. Now, Michael is cornered, the reluctant keeper of a secret that could shatter his world. To expose Nina would mean detonating a bomb at the center of his family, devastating Willow with the truth about her mother, and potentially unleashing Sonny's uncontrollable wrath. Yet, to remain silent is to be complicit, allowing Nina's poison to spread unchecked. The fear that once held him captive has hardened into a grim resolve. Michael is no longer a passive witness. He is quietly gathering his evidence, testing loyalties, and preparing for a war. He knows he must unmask the monster hiding in plain sight, even if it costs him everything. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Drew Kane was shot in the back twice, and surgery was performed to save his life. We still don't know what repercussions the shooting had on Drew, but it is a little too soon to tell. Drew may have suffered some irreversible damage, but it also could have done a number on his memory. Drew may not remember being shot, or could have temporary amnesia. But one possibility is that Drew may not remember being Drew again, and he may go back to having his twin brother, Jason Morgan's memories. It is still unclear whether or not Drew still has Jason's memories, or lost them while he was held captive and presumed dead after the plane crash in 2019. While Drew may still have had Jason's memories, as well as his own, he could have suffered unknown damage to his spinal cord due to the shooting, and considering that Jason's memories are still in his brain, he may still have them. The damage to his spinal cord could trigger these memories and allow them to resurface. Drew could wake up believing that he is Jason, and have only his memories. When Drew finally wakes up from his surgery, he would expect Sonny Corinthos, Carly Spencer, and Michael Corinthos to be around waiting for him to regain consciousness. Elizabeth Baldwin would be there when Drew wakes up and be surprised that he asks to see Sonny, Carly, or Michael. Elizabeth would wonder why he would want to see them. Drew would tell her that of course he does. They are his family. Elizabeth would look confused, and Drew could say something that would indicate to Liz that Drew thinks that he is Jason, shocking her. When news spreads around Port Charles that Drew no longer has any memory of being Drew and believe that he is Jason, everyone would be shocked, surprised, and in some cases even relieved. And it would change everything, and Willow Tate might spiral even more because of this twist. Could Drew go back to only having Jason's memories and have to start over? What do you think? Do you think that Drew could wake up with Jason's memory? Would this relieve many Port Charles residents? These two soap villains each ended up shot twice in the back. Soap operas are at their best when they deliver a shocking whodunit, and General Hospital has viewers buzzing with its latest mystery. Who shot Drew Kane? While Port Charles reels from the attack, longtime soap fans can't help but draw comparisons to one of the most legendary television cliffhangers of all time, Dallas's unforgettable Who Shot JR? Storyline. In March 1980, viewers were stunned when J.R. Ewing, the ruthless oil baron everyone loved to hate, was gunned down in his office. Practically everyone in his life had a motive, which made the summer-long wait to discover the shooter a cultural phenomenon. Betting pools even opened in Las Vegas and London, with odds makers giving each suspect their own odds. Sue Ellen Ewing, J.R.'s long-suffering wife, was considered a strong possibility after years of his infidelity and abuse. Her sister, Kristen Shepard, who also happened to be J.R.'s mistress, had motive as well. He had ended their affair and left her desperate and pregnant. Banker Von Leland, swindled in a shady oil deal, had reason to retaliate, while Dusty Farlow, Sue Ellen's lover, had every reason to despise the man who mistreated her. Family rival Cliff Barnes was another suspect given their long-standing feud. And even Miss Ellie, J.R.'s mother, was briefly floated as a dark horse. When the highly anticipated episode Who Done It finally aired on November 21, 1980, the truth was revealed. Kristen Shepard pulled the trigger. The episode was watched by more than 80 million people, making it one of the most watched broadcasts in TV history and cementing Dallas as a pop culture phenomenon. Fast forward to today, and GH is borrowing from that same playbook with Drew Kane in the crosshairs. Once a decorated hero and loyal friend, Drew has turned Port Charles upside down with schemes, betrayals, and broken relationships, leaving him with a long list of enemies who might have decided enough was enough. Curtis Ashford once counted Drew as his best friend, but their bond has collapsed into bitter hostility. Blackmailing Portia was already a betrayal, but having Stella arrested was the final straw. Curtis even stormed into Drew's office to threaten him directly. Could his anger have exploded into violence? Portia and Stella clearly had motives to shoot Drew, but at least Portia has an alibi. She was cheating on Curtis with Isaiah. Michael Corinthos has ample motive. Drew destroyed his marriage and tried to take his children away. And is still meddling in his family life. Few would blame Michael if he finally snapped. Meanwhile, Carly is every bit as dangerous when her son is threatened. She openly warned Drew, and while she once loved him, she might be more than ready to see him gone for good. And what about Sonny? Drew has become a thorn in the Corinthos family's side, and Sonny has never been shy about removing problems permanently, especially since Drew recently collaborated with Sidwell to drive Sonny out of town. Could this be one more crime to add to his long history of violent solutions? Drew also made an enemy of Alexis Davis. His refusal to let her see Scout led him to take out restraining orders against Alexis, Christina, Molly, Danny, and Rocco. Each of them has reason to lash out in order to protect Sam's daughter from a man they believe is unfit to be a father. Nina Reeves blames Drew for destroying her relationship with Willow. She could have accepted it if her daughter had cut ties with him, but now that Willow appears ready to give him another chance, Nina's desperation could drive her to do something drastic. There's also Sidwell. The timing is suspicious. The very night Drew was shot, the judge he bribed turned up murdered. Is it really a coincidence, or was Sidwell tying up loose ends? Even Willow herself cannot be ruled out. Drew upended her life and now claims he'll fight to get her children back. If he fails, could she finally snap? The shooter's short-haired silhouette makes Willow a seemingly obvious suspect, which, in soap logic, may just mean it's a red herring. While no mystery may ever replicate the cultural juggernaut of Who Shot JR, General Hospital is clearly paying homage to that legacy. Even Matheson himself noted the similarities in an interview with Soap Opera Digest, telling the outlet, "You know, I watched Dallas back in the day, and in many ways, it's very in line with the Who Shot JR story." Just as fans once debated endlessly about JR's shooter on Dallas, Port Charles viewers are now speculating about Drew's. With nearly every major character having a motive, the suspense is thick, and the eventual reveal promises to shake the town to its core. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.